Good morning, everybody. Wow, a pretty impressive morning across the board for everything so far. Probably shouldn't really have been shocked by that response to what's been going on. Again, it's not even over yet, I suppose, but can't be called. But I mean, it's I mean the markets are speaking, so that seems to be enough for me. So it's a brand new all-time high on Bitcoin. Excellent. Okay, let's have a look at the nature of this all-time high. Well, I mean. As far as it's concerned on a weekly, it's absolutely fine for continuation. And again, that's on a weekly. So we're talking over a period of weeks, months, maybe even throughout next year. Currently, looking very nice, and don't see any reason to doubt its power on the long term. This, I suppose, goes hand in hand with the way that the chart was. So regardless of who done what and who's won what and what color state, blah blah blah, if we focus just on the charts itself, the weekly trend signal still very much in play over here. So we should probably just allow that to continue. Same thing with the daily. The daily's got the trend signal, which is absolutely still in play. We were talking about it yesterday, even on the live stream. We were saying, look, if the opposite effect happens in the market, the Chiku span, as long as it doesn't close inside the price, which is all the way down here at 62,500, the trend signal is still in play. Same thing is going on with the daily. The trend signal is still in play. Look, we're not overheated on this either. We do have potentially our first drive of bearish divergence. So it looks to me like the first major target has been hit, but an extension on this could take you up to close to $77,000 today. That can easily happen. So it's all looking quite good. Now, the main thing I'm interested in at this point now is going to be Ethereum, because Ethereum is going to have such a dramatic effect on altcoins moving forward. So Ethereum was looking, and has been looking, and still does look pretty poor. This could be classed as an accumulation zone. This is what I was saying last night on the Patreon. So we can't get too excited on altcoins until Ethereum breaks out. We're in a range of between 30 to 35% from the lows, which are down here at 2,150, to the highs, which are going to be this 200 simple, which is at 3,000. And until we get above those, we can't consider this to be an uptrend of any form. Again, accumulations look boring and sideways, and you have to accumulate within that period, and you're vulnerable to the market if you're accumulating an altcoin, because Bitcoin can move down and altcoins can move down, because this is not an uptrend, so it's vulnerable as an altcoin, even being Ethereum, being this, I wouldn't say the strongest, but the largest market cap one. So until we see a breakout and a continuation above 3,000, most altcoins are probably going to continue with this volatile, big moves up, retrace back down, big moves up, retrace back down, basically like what Ethereum's done. Big move up, retrace down, big move up, retrace down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, blah, 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 blah. So that's basically what's going to be going on. Whereas obviously we can look at Bitcoin, and again we're looking at this on a high time frame, but we can see that, we had that consolidation, and since the low was formed at the bottom of the trend line, it's just been up, trend signals, golden crosses. It's not the same for Ethereum. So alt season's still pending, really. The markets will all trend together, and we're kind of seeing that, and we're enjoying that, but don't be under the illusion that altcoins are going to go straight up to the moon at this point now. I think, there is today potentially marks a bit more of a positive trading environment moving forward over the next 6 to 10 months, where I think the market is likely to see a peak, and so we can not rest assured, but we could be a little bit more confident in the overall general projection. And just to mark that projection off, so we can just recognize it for what it is. I talk about it all the time. You're probably so bored about seeing it. The total 2 is the general projection, and we'll take ourselves to a weekly. We'll turn off all the noise, reset the chart, put it on log scale, and turn off all this nonsense. And that is your general projection. So that's what we're looking for. This has always been the case. Consolidate throughout the summer, break out some point this year, continuation into next year, and that's what we're looking for. So again, that is the general expectation, and that's the expectation I still hold. Now, after what's happened today, we've managed to move our way back up to the top of this trend line, which is the descending triangle, which is obviously a consolidation formation. It was another retest of the death cross, which is the 200 simple on the total 2. And with all of that, we should expect nothing more than rejection at this point for the total 2. We do have hidden bullish divergence, but look, it's only because of a risk to reward scenario, right? When at resistance, expect to be rejected. If you break from resistance, because eventually we will, it's very likely that we will, then you consider it to be a breakout, and that's when alt seasons or altcoins start to play catch up. But right now they're not catching up. They're not going to be able to catch up with this kind of setup. They will catch up once you're outside of here, preferably outside, retested, make your way up to the next level of resistance. Probably a rejection, higher low, breakout, high low, and then that's it. That's the projection over the next 6, 10, maybe 12 months or so. But, today is a good day, let's face it. Whatever your political leaning, it doesn't really matter. We're focused solely on financial aspects of this, and that's all I really care about. The financial aspect, the implications of an administration on my net worth, really, and my allocations. And so, look, there's plenty that can still happen. So to be guarded, I suppose, to an extent. But the markets are speaking. The markets seem particularly happy, and I'm very happy with this scenario. I can tell you, I've woken up and look at the pre-market on Coinbase. I've got a large position on this one, a huge, relatively over-leveraged position on this one. So I'm quite pleased to see it move like this. I'm wondering, and I'm hoping to see how high this can go. Because again, it's not very often I take large leveraged positions in anything, but I did in this instance, and I'm very pleased with it so far. Remember, you can't get too pleased on unrealized gains, can you? And it's usually when you start to feel like you're going to tell people about it, is usually the time to sell. It's just one of those anecdotal scenarios that it's probably better to sell it now than to keep it running. So I'll have a little word with myself when this video is over. Right, so long story short, Bitcoin already had reached what could be considered a peak, but could easily see itself move up to $77,000, maybe even a wick higher than that. And then will likely retrace to create a higher low, very much in line with the structure that we're in right now. And a building block that should continue, generally speaking, I would imagine, to continue throughout the rest of this year into next year. That doesn't mean buy the peak and expect higher. That means we're in a better trading environment than we were yesterday, even though yesterday was a good trading environment based on technicals alone. But once these next few days are over and we do another Patreon stream on Friday, which I urge you to join, really, because this is going to become a bit more of an exciting environment for everybody and everything. So it's nice to be part of a much broader community, especially one where we all chip together with our own charts and thoughts and questions. So feel free to join with the link in the description below. But it looks like the Trump pump is real, but expect a retrace around the top of this box. 67 towards 68,000, probably see a retrace from there, and then allow for moving averages to catch up with price action to buy that dip. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Congratulations to those of you that played this, and we can all sit and marvel currently at our portfolios. We're not out of the woods at all. We will only be out of the woods when Ethereum says we're out of the woods. But currently, this is a pretty bold day for all markets. But with it, I suppose, just to bring you back down to earth, is it a buy the rumor, sell the news event? Probably is. The pump is in response to an administration change. The reality of that administration should start to show its true colours over the coming months, and if those changes are favourable to crypto, let's just say, then we will see continuation anyway. But based on the charts, Bitcoin wants to continue on a daily and a weekly. Ethereum potentially still accumulating, so you're not left behind if you wanted to accumulate within that. Most altcoins still accumulating as well, vulnerable to Bitcoin's volatility. And we should look forward to what the next 6 months or so should bring. And I imagine they can bring all kinds of stuff. So don't FOMO. don't FOMO. This is still a technical channel, and we should view technicals as the more important thing. So we should be allowing for moving averages to catch up with price action before we allocate any more. All right, just don't FOMO. Wait for price to catch up with moving averages and then buy that. Whether you buy a Bitcoin or you're buying into altcoins, doesn't really matter. You just don't FOMO into a scenario like today. You know, it's just, that's not how you play this game. You've got to buy the red, sell the green, not the other way around. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.